Hey there, welcome. You know what? Ruben and I are so grateful that you're here. Do us a favor if you can, subscribe to our channel, ring that bell, and you know what? That would just help us out a lot. And I hope you're enjoying the channel. We'll see you soon. Bye-bye.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to our show. We are having a wonderful guest in this series, Dr. Wolf, Dr. Thom Wolf. And in this part, we are going over a few things in depth, like what happens when we die. I just want to say my intro to that question is pretty long. It kind of makes me uncomfortable, even watching it, but I felt like I needed to. Not be misinterpreted, but we'll just let the viewers decide. And he has a really good answer to the idea of what happens when we die, because there's some disagreement within the church. Any thoughts, Jacob?
No, I like your question. And I think maybe even we could, if we ever have them again, we could even look at it a different, not different way, but kind of go into it even more deeper. But no, I thought it was a great question. And I think we should tell the viewer there is going to be a piece in this video coming up, this episode, where we go into some music and we cannot play the actual piece because it's copyright. So we just have the lyrics. So just let the audience know that.
Very good. Uh, we hope you enjoy this part of the series with Dr. Thom Wolf. Thank you, everybody. Bye bye. And so I share that with you because uh, before I ask this question, by way of anecdote, uh, I and just generally about you, I feel like one time you were booked, to speak to us as teenagers. Janess Park, does that ring a bell? Janess Park.
Oh yeah, I do
Okay.
remember that. I remember that concept. I don't remember why it
Oh,
was.
you're getting more than a concept now. You're getting
Now you're going to get feedback.
this
A
is
memory.
a memory. Holly Hare was the high school leader at the time of the youth group, and so she set. We went on a trip to Janess Park, which is a youth camp, and I have to say this. I can say this. By the way, shout out to Holly Hare. Maybe she's watching this. I will say very good youth leader, and she took us to this camp, and it was going to be we knew it was going to be a powerful week because you were one of the speakers. And I have to say, generally speaking, I didn't like youth camps. It felt like it was like speaking down. No judgment on anybody. Everybody had every leader and every counselor were great. They had good intentions. I wasn't the kind of youth though that was, oh, I am a C, I am a C H, I am a C H R S T I N. That was just my thing. Let's go a little deeper. Anyway, everybody's different, but you came and we were excited, and you walked through the door, and you were wearing Levi's. You were wearing a shirt that you looked like you just bought on sale at the I don't know, Pick and Save at the time. You look different. I only saw you in suits. And you walked in and you stood before us and you said, all my luggage is gone. I just flew here from, I don't know where you were flying from.
Oh, interesting.
Luggage gone. I have no notes. I just bought this outfit. And you just proceeded to just off the top of your head give the best teaching lesson I've heard in my life. Best message I've ever heard. I want to say at the outset, what I appreciated about your message, and I'll tell you what the message was, and then I want you to react. The message was around death and how we have a short time. You were telling this to teenagers. We were teenagers. You did not talk down to us, which I love. You were talking a higher level message, I felt, than what we were used to at that camp. You were talking about, and so I'm going to give you the phrase. This is the teaching aspect I appreciated. You said, don't forget, we all have an appointment with the worm. So you were giving us this, you were talking about your health concerns, but you always were not shy about talking about real big things. And so first part is that comment. So I thank you for that. But I guess I would like to invite you to talk about what happens after when we go. And there's a, I want to take it from a different kind of angle though, in the sense of, now this is one of those things where it might start to delve into differences, not differences of opinions, but just a thought that I've had. As evangelicals, we reject purgatory. After you die, I don't believe in purgatory, and there's a rejection of that. However, I think my observation with some people, some believers, is that heaven and hell, therefore, there's a confidence, and I do believe in confidence. I do believe that we should be bold. There is always time for confidence and boldness, 100%. However, I've become increasingly uncomfortable with a casualness in some people about death. And this might be a point of disagreement where I'm like, and it's a small disagreement of this idea of don't grieve for me when I die. Throw a party. Throw a party. No tears, please. No tears, please. And it's never hit. It's never hit right with me personally.
Yeah.
And I've gotten increasingly uncomfortable with it as I've gotten older. This casualness, for lack of a better word, and the loss of that some of us have had, the loss of awe and respect at the end time.
Yeah.
So I know this is a lot of context. I don't want people to misinterpret me, so I've had to give context, and I'm gonna let you go to talk about this. One of the things that you said, so I'll just tell you a middle ground that I'm looking for. But it's not purgatory. There's some teachings that I stumbled upon about when judgment comes, when people die, there might be a process of some type, and I don't even know what that even means because I don't know enough about this. People have talked about some type of process, and then I'm going to give you a quote that you said one time, and I'm willing for you to say, "Well, wait a minute, this is what I meant," and that's fine. But our our stepfather, David Valdez, we talked about this quote, and it's been fun that you said this. You said one time that some people who go to heaven will go there by the skin of their teeth. And so I want to encapsulate that.
I said that.
Yes. I want to encapsulate that comment, the skin of their teeth, and this idea of a process, as opposed to I'm going to be with Jesus the moment I die. And I feel like, wait a minute, some people will, perhaps, yes. Not even perhaps will. But wait a minute. There's people who are caught up in something, or there's people who've, I hate to I don't want to disrespect anybody, but there's some real profound things that have happened with certain pastors, certain things that maybe I won't go into, but I will just say, is there something to what I'm saying? What are your thoughts? Or am I just falling off the loony wagon?
Well,
I need a drink for this before I hear this.
Yeah. Well, some questions are a sentence long, and
I know.
some questions,
and I apologize.
Some questions are a mile and a half long. So, I'm going. This may sound odd because I feel
odd is good for the cameras.
Okay.
Odd is good.
Well, because we know that we're dealing with facts.
Yes.
And so, I'm going to give you an opinion.
Yes.
I'm not trying to make a statement that everyone has to accept, because people, I don't think what we have facts, but they have to be integrated. So let me just say this. There are a lot of different opinions about what happens after death. So one of the major questions is, whose opinion are you going to take?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Let's get the data down first. First of all, the question of, are we looking at a divide, death and then heaven, hell? Or are we looking at death, purgatory, intermediate,
Right.
testing ground, and then heaven or hell? Okay. And of course, there's the other opinions of it doesn't exist.
Right.
There's no existence in which you would experience. So it's not an existence of experience. Like, all right. So when we discuss in the Western culture, Europe, United States, South America, whatever, when you deal with the word hell, you need to remember, and people say, oh, the Bible this, and you this, and the Pope this. Wait, stop, slow down. Who has spoken more about hell in the New Testament Bible? Who spoke the most? Jesus. If you don't believe in hell, so I have your opinion and I have the Jesus opinion. It's that simple. It wasn't the apostles. It wasn't Peter. It wasn't St. Peter. It wasn't St. Paul. It wasn't St. John, Luke, Matthew, Mark. It was Jesus. People pick up the rocks, put them back in the truck, drive over to the Jesus driveway and drop them. If you don't like thinking about hell, you don't like listening to Jesus, or you just want to cut him out of the conversation. You're saying, what the hell with Jesus' opinion? Well, people do that. I'm not one of those. So here's the thing. Jesus introduces us to the concept and teachings about and the vocabulary of the word hell more than anyone else in original Christianity. It's a Jesus gendered concept. Okay. Now, number 2, purgatory. I either have to take the opinion of the Roman Catholic Pope, or I take the opinion of Jesus and his original, we heard him ourselves, first generation of James, John, Peter, Paul. And quite frankly, I respect the Pope, but if I have to choose between the opinion of the Pope and the opinion of Jesus, I'm sorry, I don't mean to be offensive or improper. I take Jesus. Okay?
Yeah.
So that teaching only emerged out of non-Christian, Greco-Roman, Hellenistic, Roman concepts and Babylonian, Persian, Iranian, such as those concepts of purgings and such after death. Those then were introduced by stages, and anyone can look this up and verify this. And then it was finally declared. And I was going to give the date, and I don't have that with me. Okay, one other thing. When you deal with heaven and hell, you're making some kind of evaluation, some kind of a judgment. That person deserves, or that person would be in the category of heaven. This person is in the category of hell. All right. by what standard do you judge? Well, the Apostle Paul, in the New Testament book, the original document of Christianity, in the book of Acts, chapter 17, he says that at the end time, God will judge all men by the man whom he has appointed. Huh. Okay, now we have a standard. There's going to be a person that's the standard for humanity. Who is that? I don't know. Is it who's the who's the man who's been over the Senate right now? Jeffries. Is it Hakeem Jeffries or is it Donald Trump? Who's the standard, right? And so the point is, no, there is what the Apostle Paul, you have to evaluate him. But he said, God has assigned a judgment on the basis of the man, Messiah Jesus. And it's like, look around and look around, not only here in your culture, but look beyond your culture, look beyond your generation, and then look beyond your civilization. You know, like go somewhere besides America, besides Western Europe. Go to Central America. Go to Africa. Go and tell me. Look for a standard for evaluating human conduct and motivations. And for me, I have come back again and again to the man. And I wouldn't, it's scary, okay? But I wouldn't want any other person in the world to judge me besides
You know, by way of clarifying, by the way, I actually don't struggle with the question of hell or purgatory. For me, I don't think there is a
Jesus.
purgatory.
But lots of people do.
Right. But what I was going to say is, I actually have my just this is not a question, but this, and I'm admitting I might not. My question might not even be answerable because I also remember you sharing with that again. I appreciate you telling us teenagers this. You said I want to get your quote right. The answers are God's, and something like, and the mysteries are, there are some mysteries that are God's as well, or something to that effect, where some questions aren't answered. So I'm about to point something out that I feel like maybe I have an unanswerable question. My question isn't hell or purgatory isn't even in the mix for me, but sometimes my question I've always wondered is more about heaven, because I've dealt with people who have told me the following, and this is not a question necessarily, but it's just to clarify. I'm a believer. I'm a Christian. I just hate church. I hate worship, and I'm to believe we're to worship in heaven. And it's always been a mystery to me of what is this person going to do in heaven who hates church. So it might be so I have been not persuaded, but I have been reading this issue of what's God going to do with certain people. But again, it's not a question. It's maybe it's just an anecdote, and I just thought.
We're gonna be. Isn't it true? We're gonna be surprised. There's some mysteries that we're gonna be revealed, right, when we go to heaven. Dr. Tom, I'm not sure.
He's playing. Was it Roblox?
Tetris.
It's Wordster. What is it?
No, but there will be, like Ruben shared, there will be some mysteries kind of unveiled. Obviously. I think we might even be surprised, like, hey, how did you get here, right? When we get to heaven, like,
That's right.
I believe that, and I also believe, though, we can keep asking, because some things are revealed that we didn't. There might be some questions that can be answered now, but anyway.
Well, I would like to take about 40 seconds. I won't play the whole song, but let me say I've never really been my home was originally in Houston, Texas, but I was never in childhood or any other time a fan of country western music.
There's something wrong with that.
Well, okay.
We need to talk.
Well, I discovered country western through a man named Steve Wood. He has a song called Scars in Heaven. This has been a fascinating. He has two different songs. He has about three songs about heaven. That's really quite remarkable. Okay, now so just notice this of his concept of heaven. I find it fascinating. It goes on. It's very simple. I'm looking for a home built by God alone. And the only thing there that was made by man are the scars on the hands of Jesus. If you want to know our responsibilities in the light of that, this one to me is disturbing. He has such an uncanny way with words. The way he uses words, for example, he does not say in here, "You never told me about Jesus." He says, "You never not told me of the way," or something. He does it in a reverse. He just keeps catching me off. So if I may just with this, so I mean I'm considering this as part of the interview. I mean in the sense that so uh, it's at the day of judgment. Okay, so it's a very interesting concept. He's going to deal with right and wrong, heaven and not heaven. Okay, so notice what happens. I found these taking me as a person who has basically dealt with these in different cultures, different parts of the planet. I found it took me off guard. The simplicity of what he says and the twist. That's what a poet's for. You know, the poets and songwriters, they give you the words. The largest book in the Bible is a collection of songs, the Psalms, right? And he expresses it and it puts the emphasis where it should be. What's my responsibility to others? If you have a great thing, if there's Ebola virus going around and you have a cure, why wouldn't you share it? You see, rather than you've got fever and you got a snotty nose. No, no, that's part of it. If you got my problem, so help me get out of my problems.
I find it interesting that by the way that you share that you really didn't enjoy country, but you do like these two songs that are the countryest, twangiest.
I know.
That's too country for me.
It's unbelievable.
That's
But he captures
way
you.
overboard.
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding.
No, but he captures you
Yes,
with
I actually love
the
that.
truth.
Not only the truth, but make it simple. Like, what does it matter? We're talking about who's going to be there, who's not. But it's like, wait a minute, what are you doing? Like, kind of, what are you doing?
That's right. It shifts.
And it shifts
That's
the question to you. Yeah.
Yeah. He's got several others like this. I'm like, it's like I don't listen to country western. I listen to Steve Wood.
I thought it was I always find it funny. This video, this part of our series, it ends with the country
Abruptly.
music and abruptly, but um, and it's a shame that we couldn't play the music. Um, but there's copyright strikes, and we're unable to play, songs on YouTube on our channel typically. But I will say though, it's funny how I don't really like country music, and then he plays a real twangy country music. So he played a real country music sound anyway, and which is very strange. It's very funny to hear that. But any thoughts about this part?
I know I really liked yeah, the music was interesting. But besides that, just the whole focus, because I thought, your question regarding heaven and just even how different people maybe even have different views of that. He just went right straight to his pastoral leg, like, hey, you know what? It's all about bringing people to Christ, So the definitely, I don't think we see too much of his educational leg in this one, right? More his pastoral. But yeah, he did he's such a good communicator, and I think the audience knows that by now. By this third episode, I think people are saying, "Oh, this guy is definitely somebody we need to listen to." So it was a good episode.
Very good. Thank you for joining with us to celebrate our time with Dr. Thom Wolf. And I believe there's at least one part left. And we'll see you next time, everybody. Bye bye.